Alright. It's been one heck of a week for me, but I got something fantastic. 2022 10 of the Pharaoh's Gods. Comes with 3 mega packs. Each pack contains 6 cards that are rare or higher, guaranteeing that we get a prismatic per pack. Yeah, we've got 3 of these. I haven't cracked open a Yu-Gi-Oh pack since like the second year it was in the West. So, without further ado, let's crack one open. If I can. Okay. Alright. Let's see. What is this? Ice Jade Tanola? What are you? Ooh, Ad libitum? Of Despia. Ooh. During your main phase, you can make all monsters currently on the field gain attack equal to their own level times 100 until the end of the opponent's turn. That's actually pretty strong. I mean, it's a minor attack boost, but it's might be just enough in order to get over something. If this card in your hand or field is used as a fusion material and sent to the graveyard or banished, you can target one of your Despot monsters of level 8 or higher, or level 8 or higher fusion monsters that is banished or in your graveyard, except this card, special summon it. You can only use each effect. Okay, so it's actually pretty strong. I need to look at Ice Jade later. Let me see. Expendable die. Tribute one warrior monster, target one card on the field, destroy it, and if you do, draw a card. Okay, okay. So it's not just a 2-for-1 sort of deal. And it also has Warrior Digrapher in the artwork, so it's not bad. I mean, it's very specific for warriors, and there's some pretty good warriors. I mean, this can be used in an elemental hero. This can be used in a hero deck because I think all of them are warriors. All right, what's next? Meow's Click. Cyburst, level 4. A field spell card is activated. You can special summon this card from your hand, and if face-up cards are in both field zones, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects this turn. Situational, but I think field spell cards have gotten a lot stronger. You can only use this effect of Meowth's Click once per turn. During your turn, the effects of the face-up card in your opponent's field zone are negated. Okay, that actually is pretty useful. During your opponent's turn, the effects of the face-up card in your field zone are negated, which is not so good. I mean, it's a good special summon to go into links and synchros, and even XZs. So, I mean, it's pretty nice. All right. Let me see. Ooh, synchro. Stellar Wind Wolfrant. It is a level 9 synchro. You can only control one of this card. It gains standard attack each time another monster's effect is activated. Its baseline is 2,500 attack. While the attack of this card is less than 4,000. Okay, once per turn, if the card's attack is 4,000 or higher, as a quick effect, you can shuffle both this card and all monsters your opponent controls into the deck. Okay, so this punishes a whole lot of activations. And then it spins it all back into the deck, so which means it allows you to set it up again. But again, it's a rank 9 synchro, so it's going to be a bit difficult in order to get out unless you spam a whole lot. But it's also possible to link climb with this, or rather synchro climb. Next card. What are you? What are you? Arrow Pix 3? Yeah, Arrow Pix 3. Level 1, Fairy Tuner. Okay. As a quick effect, once per turn, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls in this card's column. Move this card you control to another of your main monster zones, and if you do, move that opponent's monster to their main monster zone in this card's column, and place one burn-up counter on it. Monsters with burn-up counters lose 200 attack and defense for each burn-up counter on it. That's very lackluster, I'll be honest. The only saving grace it has is being a tuner, but it has no means of being special summoned by its own effect, so you have to spend more resources to get it onto the field, or it has to be your normal summon. Not that great. Alright, next up is Pendulum Treasure. Hold up. Okay, it's a spell card. This is a rare. Add one pendulum monster from your deck to your extra deck face up. You can only activate one pendulum treasure per turn. Okay, so this card is actually pretty good for pendulum decks, which is actually real good. It's good for pendulum decks. That's real good. So it actually helps set up your extra deck with pendulum monsters, and they have a whole bunch of other effects, and this can also be used to bring out some very big and terrifying pendulum monsters. Up next is Live Twin Key Sakil Frost. Oh, oh, this has a foil to it. If you control a Leela, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon one of this card once per turn this way. Card or cards is added to the main deck from the main deck to your opponent's hand by a card effect, except during the damage step. While you control an evil twin monster, an evil twin to be precise, you can banish this card from your graveyard, draw one card. You can only use this effect of Key Sakil Frost once per turn. Okay. Okay, it's not bad. It's not bad. It has special. It can special summon itself. It's a level 2 light aqua monster, which can be used in order to go into rank 2s for XZs. Can also be used in order to go into some low level synchros, and definitely can be used for link plays, which I think the Live Twins excel at. They want to get their link. They want to get their Link Sunny out. All right. After Live Twin Kisakil is Sunvine Crossbreed. It's a continuous spell. Also has the foil. Tribute one Link monster, then target one other plant monster in your graveyard. Special summon it, but negate its effects. You can only use this effect of Sunvine Crossbreed once per turn. So, you need to be running a lot of plants. And there's some good plant monsters, but a full plant deck is a bit outside of Black Rose Dragon archetypes. This is very, very iffy. But this can also be used to extend your plays quite a bit. As far as I am aware, it could be a whole lot better. It could be a whole lot better, and I just don't know. Then again, I don't really play Black Rose. I know Black Rose turns around and runs the Synchro Monster, but what else? What else? I don't know. Definitely a cool card. Up next is Scrap Raptor. Ooh, this must be an ultra rare. Scrap Raptor, level 4 tuner. Ooh. You can target one monster you control and destroy it. Also, during your main phase this turn, you can normal summon another scrap monster in addition to your normal summon / set. If this card is destroyed by the effect of a scrap card and sent to your graveyard, you can add one Scrap Factory or one non-tuner scrap monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Scrap Raptor once per turn. It is a dinosaur though, which means it is an evo. It is a, I believe, yeah, it's a dinosaur. It's also a scrap monster, so there's synergies there, which can go right into a bunch of synchro plays. Dinosaurs though want to get out their big boss monster, which is Ultra Tyranitar or something. I can't really remember. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. But this is a pretty good ultra rare. It's a level 4 tuner. Yes, it's a scrap. It's a dinosaur, which means dinosaur decks can, they can utilize it and go into some synchros. Can also be used for Crystron Halki Phyrex's band. Lovely. Alright, what is the next card? The next card is Sprite's Blessing. It's a ritual. This is the secret rare? Let me double check something here. I want to take a look at the box at the back of the tin. Let me see. One rare, 2 super rares. Oh, this is another ultra rare. Okay, so it's after this one that we get the Prismatic. Can be used to ritual summon any light ritual monster. Hey, there we go. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field whose total levels exactly equal to the level of the ritual monster you ritual summon. So I could see this being used for I could see this being used to bring out none other than oh, I'm trying to think. What was the name? What was the name? Chaos Neos. I'm thinking this can be used for Chaos Neos because I mean it says light ritual monster. I mean this can also be used for a lot of other good light ritual monster cards. But rituals need a lot of work in order. I mean, there are some that are still really good, and they play differently to how rituals normally would work. So this card is actually not that half bad from first glance. All right, after this should be our prismatic. We have branded opening. It's a quick play, and yeah, this is the secret rare. This is the secret rare. It doesn't really show up on my camera that well. Yeah, it doesn't show up on my camera at all, but it's got the cross hatching foil. Branded opening. It's a quick play spell. Discard a card, then take one Despia monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it in defense position. Also, for the rest of the turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except fusion monsters, which branded usually do. Despia decks usually do. If a fusion monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So this would protect your fusion monsters, especially those that don't have protection, so it's good that way. You can only use each effective branded opening once per turn. That's actually pretty solid. I think that would be like very important for branded decks. Let me see here. I'm sleeping it up. Up next is Bujin Condescence. Bujin Condescence. This is for Bujin. This is for the Bujin archetype. Ritual. It's a continuous spell. Beast Warrior Bujin monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects except during the battle phase. Once per turn, you can send one Bujin monster from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard, then target one face-up card your opponent controls, and negate its effects until the end of this turn. During your end phase, you can send this face-up card from the field to the graveyard, then target one Bujin monster in your graveyard to special summon it. Don't Bujin monsters have very specific effects that proc when they go to the graveyard? Which this, I think, facilitates in a way. But the fact that it can also, like, special summon one back is not that bad. It's just that it's at the end phase, which I think Bujin has, Synchro monsters. So having a Bujin Synchro monster in your graveyard and bringing it back in face-up defense is a good way in order to keep your board presence, while at the same time, if they go straight in for attacks, you actually have a means of blocking it, unless they have piercing. Unless Bujin have like 0 defense, then beware of Chaos Neos. After Bujin Condescence, we have another normal. Ooh, it's a Link 3 XZ. Matriactor Gigaboros. Yeah, Matriactor Gigaboros. It's a rank 3, 500 attack, 500 defense, Dragon XZ effect. It requires 2 or more level 3 level 3 monsters. They don't have to be effects. It gains 500 attack and defense for each card in your hand. Okay, so Pseudo Slifer. You can only use each of the following effects of Matriactor Gigaboros once per turn. You can detach one material from this card, and attach one Matriactor monster from your deck to this card as a material. Which kind of tells me that they have specific effects if they are XZ materials. During your opponent's main phase or battle phase, as a quick effect, you can add one card attached to this card to the hand in order to save it for later. Interesting. I think there might be some good ways for this to be played with. And the fact that it has a pseudo slifer effect kind of says that, hey, if you dump your hand too fast, this thing doesn't get any boost, which means it's going to get run over. Okay, so after that is Branded in White. Another branded card. Okay. Fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as materials, including a dragon monster. So that is a requirement. A dragon monster. You can also banish monsters from your graveyard as material if you use Fallen of Albaz as fusion material from your hand, field, or by banishing itself from your graveyard. Okay, so hand, field, or graveyard for fusion. That's actually pretty strong. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there to activate the effect of Fallen of Albaz this turn, which I would have to look at. You can set this card. You can only use each effect of Branded in White once per turn. Cool. So even if you don't turn around and get to use it from your hand because you turn around and used it to have for Fallen of Albaz's effect, you can turn around and still have it available for your next turn. It's not quick play though. It's not quick play. Up next we have. Okay, this text is so small, and it's not coming into focus that well. Gizmek Taniguku, the Immobile Intellect. It's a machine level 3. Looks to be a frog too. Maybe making fun of the frog archetype. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can take one machine monster whose attack equals its own defense from your deck and place it on top of your deck. Interesting. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one machine monster in your graveyard whose attack equals its own defense. Special summon it in defense position. You can only use each effect of Gizmek once per turn. Alright, and after that, we have 2 more cards for this pack. What is this? Dino Wrestler Iguanodraca? Yeah, Iguanodraca. One of the Dino Wrestlers. I know Dino Wrestlers, I know Pancretops is kind of like the more popular one. You can discard one other Dinosaur monster, special summon this card from your hand. You contribute one Dinosaur monster, and target one Dino Wrestler monster in your graveyard with a different original name from the attributed monster. Special summon it in defense position. You can only use each effect of Dino Wrestler Iguanodraca once per turn. Okay, so it's level 6, so it gets you a free level 6 onto the field, but it is best in a dinosaur deck or in its own archetype, which I find it to be very fitting. It gets you a free level 6 for like rank 6 plays, links, or even synchros, depending. Although I think Soul Eating Raptor still would turn around and make best use of this, especially getting another Dino Wrestler out, because maybe they have a Synchro or an XC that requires Dino Wrestlers specifically. I don't know. There's a lot of cards. Last card in this first pack is. Okay, what is it? Bee Trooper Sting Lancer. It's a level 7 wind insect with 2400 attack. During the main phase, as a quick effect, you can target one insect monster in your graveyard and one monster in your opponent's graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, place the targeted monsters on the bottoms of the decks. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Bee Trooper spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You can only use the effect of Bee Trooper Sting Lancer once per turn. Okay, so it can actually get itself out onto the field if you're playing pure insect, which Bee Trooper kind of like facilitates. It facilitates a lot. It's a free level 7 with a 2400 attack, and it also lets you get a Bee Trooper spell or trap from your deck to your hand, so it special summons itself and allows you to search, which I feel like is probably pretty good. It's pretty good. But that's just the first pack. We got 2 more packs to go through. I know I'm analyzing each card because each card, whether normal or, ultra rare, has immense value depending on the deck you're building. Alright, pack number 2. We open up with Fabled Marcosia. Fabled Marcosia. It's a light level 4 fiend. a fiend monster with the light attribute. 1700 attack. If this card is in your hand, you can discard up to 2 monsters except this card, but including another Fabled monster. Okay, so there's the archetype. And if you do, special summon this card. If summoned this way, this card gains 200 attack for each monster discarded. Now, it does say up to 2, but you do need to discard another Fabled monster. It gains 200 attack for each monster discarded. If this card is discarded to the graveyard, add one Fabled spell, trap, or spell from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Fabled Marcosia once per turn. Not half bad, in my opinion. So if you ditch it for another Fabled, that means it can refill your hand, and of course, if you ditch another Fabled, I'm guessing they do something else too. Who knows? Marcosia sounds pretty solid. I mean, it's a level 4. It can be special summon. It can really help out with the a lot of other stuff, but I feel like it's really only good in its own archetype. Alright, up next is Basil Rose Shoot. Ooh, this is a Blackwing. This is a Rose Dragon. Special summon one Rose Dragon monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position, which also targets Black Rose because, I mean, it's got Rose Dragon. But there's a lot of other Rose Dragons too. If this set card is destroyed, you can target one of your Black Rose Dragon or one monster that mentions it that is banished or in your graveyard to special summon it. You can only use each effect of Basil Rose Shoot once per turn. That okay, this definitely works in a very good plant-based deck because think about it. You turn around, you just synchro summon Black Rose Dragon. You used its effect in order to blow up the field while this was on the field, and then you get to just bring it back in defense. uh, it's also quick play too. I didn't even notice that. All right, up next. Ooh, another Bee Trooper card. Bee Trooper Landing. It's a spell card. Fusion summon one insect fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters in your hand or field as fusion material. This card is in your graveyard except the turn it was sent there, so following turn. You can banish 2 insect monsters from your graveyard. Add this card to your hand. You can use this effect of Bee Trooper Landing once per turn. Okay, so they do fuse. They do a lot of fusion. And this has recursion on itself. You just have to banish two bee troopers, which 2 insects actually. So this is actually pretty solid. Up next is Icy Breeze Refrain. Icy Breeze Refrain. Whoa. Oh, it's a witch. It's a Wind Witch card. Oof. Activate one of the following effects. Target one Wind Witch monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense. Or when your opponent activates a card or effect in response to your Wind Witch monster's effect activation, negate that effect. You can only activate one Icy Breeze Refrain per time. This is actually pretty solid in Wind Witch combos because you get a bunch of Wind Witch monsters out, and then you like synchro, you XE, you synchro, you fusion, you link them off, and then you activate this, and you can. It's a combo extender, but it's only good for like turn 3. Alright, up next is. Okay, I have to. Chronomaly Magella Globe. Oh, Chronomalies! Those are good for XEs. You contribute this card to special summon one Chronomaly monster from your deck, except another copy of this card. If this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish one Chronomaly card from your graveyard, except this card. Add this card to your hand. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. So it has a hard once per turn on each of its effects, which is awesome. Awesome. This actually helps facilitate Chronomalies getting kind of turboing out to get to their XEs, which is awesome. Okay, up next is Ada the Sun Magician. Ooh. Spellcasters, here we go. Level 4, 1515. Oh, 1500, 1500. If this card is normal summoned or flipped face up, let's be honest, we're not going to flip face up. Now, what is going on? You can special summon one spellcaster monster with 1500 defense from your hand or deck in face-down defense position, except another copy. During your opponent's main phase, as a quick effect, you can change one face-down spellcaster monster you control to face-up attack or defense position. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. Okay, so this is definitely geared for getting more stuff out. 1500 defense. Does Dark Magician Girl have 1500 defense? I don't think so. I feel like it's less. I'd have to take a better look at the card because it's always more about attack. The only reason why you put it into defense position is, so that it doesn't get blown up by a lightning storm. But this card is really good. It's also level 4, so I mean, it can go into rank 4 XZs. It can go into synchros. It can obviously go into links, and it's also pretty good fodder for fusions. Up next, ooh, it's a Lavolval. And it's my rare. Lavolval X-Lord. It's a rank 8 synchro. It's a level 8 synchro with 2900 attack. It counts as a warrior. It needs one tuner and one or more non-tuner fire monsters. So obviously a fire attribute deck would definitely be able to run this. When your opponent activates an effect of a monster on the field or in their hand, as a quick effect, you can destroy that monster, and if you do, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent, so burn damage. If this synchro summon card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card, not just effect, but just as by an opponent's card, you can special summon up to 3 non-synchro fire monsters with 200 defense from your graveyard in defense position, but negate their effects. You can only use each effect of Lavalval X Lord once per turn. Okay, so it actually has a floating effect, and since a lot of the Lavalval monsters have 200 defense, and a lot of fire monsters also have like 0 to 200 defense, this actually is pretty good as a floater. It comes out and it just, like says, hey, you want to turn around and do that? Take damage. Also, that monster's gone. Which also kind of would it work on Ash Blossom? I don't know. But it's a cool card. It's a really cool card. Okay. Up next is... Oh! Okay, it's a Zexal weapon. Pegasus Twin Saber. It's a level 5. You can only control one Pegasus Twin Saber if your opponent's life points are at least 2,000 higher than yours, so if you're on the losing end, if you're on the back foot. You can special summon this card from your hand. You can target one Utopia monster you control, equip this card you control to it as an equipped spell that gives it 1,000 attack. Once per turn, while this card is equipped to a monster, you can negate a monster effect activated on your opponent's field. Which is actually pretty... It's pretty okay. It really is pretty okay, and honestly, if you're going to be turning around and making the most out of this, you would be using Verte Anaconda, but again, that's banned in the TCG. It's not banned in Master Duel right now. I mean, it's not half bad. Zexal weapons are actually pretty difficult to work with. But I mean, life points are more of a resource. They don't the only one that matters is the last one. All right. Up next, we have ooh, it's a oh! Oh! Gunkan Sous Ship Shari. This is the normal monster that the entire Sous Ship archetype runs on. The whole Gunkan archetype revolves around Shari. The Xyz, the Synchros, the Links, the Fusions, they all revolve around Shari. Awesome! It's a level 4 2K beat stick, but it's still cool. It has no defense, so the Lavalval that we just pulled isn't going to work out. This is actually very important. I'm going to sleeve this real quick because this is important. This is a very important for the Gunkan Sous Ship archetype. This is the key to the Sous Ships. All right, next card. Oh, hello. It's a field spell. It's the Danger's field spell. Danger, disturbance, disorder. When your danger monster is destroyed by battle with an opponent's monster, you can destroy that opponent's monster. You can banish 3 danger spell or traps with different names from your graveyard. Destroy all cards on the field. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except danger monsters. You can only use this effect of danger, disturbance, disorder once per turn. The danger monsters are hilarious, and they're all based off of real world cryptoids. Awesome! This is awesome. Up next is the the revived Sky God. The artwork actually depicts this scene when Atem was bringing Slifer the Sky Dragon back with Monster Reborn, and Yugi Moto said, "Gold Sarcophagus says no." Oh, because that's actually Silent Magician. That is Silent Magician there. The activation of this card or its effects cannot be negated. Haha! Nor can its effects be negated. Special summon one Slifer the Sky Dragon from your graveyard. Then, each player draws until they have 6 cards in their hand, which means your Slifer has 6k minimum. You can banish this card from your graveyard, place one monster reborn from your deck or graveyard on top of your deck. Then, if a Divine Beast monster is in your graveyard, draw a card. You can only use each effect of the revived Sky God once per turn. That is big. That is big. Pharaoh's 10 of the Pharaoh's God. Uh, I don't care if this is actually good or not. I'm sleeving it. It's too good. It's too good. It's too much nostalgia. I haven't seen the next card. What is it? Hello, it's a field spell. Oh, it's a flu. Oh, and it's my secret rare. Fluunderies and the Magnificent Map. This is the big one for Flu. For the Fluunderies archetype, this is their card. This is their card. They need this card in order to really get going. During your main phase, you can reveal one level 1 Fluunderies monster in your hand and banish one Fluunderies card with a different name from your deck. Then, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon the revealed monster. If your opponent normal summons a monster, immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon one Fluunderies monster. You can only use each effect of Fluunderies and the Magnificent Map once per turn. This card basically says, okay, it's my turn. Okay, I've done my stuff. I pass. Okay, I draw. And now it's our turn. It's stupid strong. It's stupid strong, and Flu is just, it needs to go away. Next card. Hello. Angel Statue Azurune. It's a continuous trap. Oh, it's a special summon. Okay, special summon this card as an effect monster. Fairy Light level 4, attack 18, defense 18. This card still counts as a trap. Once per turn, when your opponent would special summon a monster or more monsters while this card is in your monster zone, you, you can send to the graveyard one continuous trap in your monster zone that was special summoned from the spell and trap zone, negate that summon, and if you do, destroy that monster. When this card in the monster zone is destroyed by battle, you can destroy the monster that destroyed this card. So this basically provides a very hard answer, and this is only ever good in, like, Paleozoic decks, really. I feel like Paleozoics would be able to run this very well as, not really Eldritch. Eldritch requires everything to be in its own archetype. Alright, up next. Unless you want to try to go for, like, an Odeon deck. An Odeon style deck, because all he really plays is traps. Next card. Ooh, what are you? Oh! Fabled and Wraith. Okay, I was right about Synchros for Fabled. Requires a Fabled tuner and one or more non-tuners. If this card is special summoned, your opponent can discard one card to negate this effect. Otherwise, you draw 2 cards. Then discard 1. Okay, so hand filter. If a monster is sent from your opponent's hand to the graveyard, except during the damage step, you can target one of those monsters and special summon it to your field, but negate its effects. So, does this mean I get their Ash Blossom? In either case, Yusei goes full bore. Clear Mind plays. I mean, it's a level 6 Synchro. Shouldn't be that hard to get out for Fabled monsters. I'm having difficulties seeing this as nothing more than like a synchro climbing tool. I mean, it has a possibility of like, oh, I get your danger. Oh, I get your Ash Blossom. Oh, I just got your Max C. Stuff like that. Because it prevents them from hitting the graveyard to begin with, which also negates their effects in that way. So it's a hand trapped. It's a hand trapped stealer. Also, it stops danger monsters really, because danger monsters have to hit the graveyard if they're picked at random. So I think this is just like a hand trap answer. All right, up next. Hello, Fusion. It's a Despian. Despian Proskenion. How many stars do you got? Let me see. 4, 8, 11. It's a level 11 fusion. One Despian monster, one light monster, and one dark monster. Okay, so chaos. 3200 attack, 3200 defense. During the main phase, as a quick effect, you can target one fusion, synchro, XC, or link monster in your opponent's graveyard, banish it, or special summon it to your field. Combo extender. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack or defense, whichever is higher. Ooh. You can only use each effect once per turn. Okay, so it's got a hard once per turn, but it does allow you to combo extend and even potentially use those effects for yourself, which is actually disgusting for Despia. Like it's very in line with Despia, but it's also very disgusting. Like very disgusting. Also, there's the chance that you could turn around and accidentally activate your opponent's Nibiru that way. In either case, next card. Hello, what are you? Magic Key Mech Musket Vados Buster. It's a level 4 ritual tuner machine with 2000 attack, 2200 defense. That's kind of those are kind of big stats for a level 4 ritual. So maybe its effect is worth it. You can ritual summon this card with Magic Key Maftia. If this card is ritual summon, you can add one Magic Key card from your deck to your hand. It just says card, doesn't say spell, trap, monster. You can only use this effect of Magic Key of this card once per turn. Also, once per turn, when an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster that has the same attribute as a normal monster or Magic Key monster in your graveyard, you can place any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your deck, and if you do, negate the effects of that opponent's monster until the end of this turn, then draw the same number of cards placed under the deck. It allows you to hand filter while also preventing the opponent's effects for the turn. Kind of. But they have to attack first, and most of the time that's not going to happen. It does search you out a Magic Key card, though. I'll give it that. So I think this is only used to, like, filter through your deck and continue your plays. That's why it's also a tuner, which is awesome. We got 2 cards left in this pack. Bee Trooper Descent. Hello. Special summon 1 Bee Trooper token. Insect Earth, level 3, 1000 attack, 1000 defense. Then if you control an insect monster with 3000 or more attack, you can destroy 1 other spell or trap on the field. You can only activate 1 Bee Trooper Descent per turn. I think for Bee Troopers, that's not half bad. And the fact that it only looks for insects, not just Bee Troopers, it looks for insects with 3000 attack or more, this can actually be very useful. And with how perfectly Ultimate Great Moth can actually be, like, turboed out super fast, this is actually not half bad of a card. Alright, and... Ooh, Converging Wills Dragon! Oh! Okay. I remember seeing this in Master Duel, and this is how, this is part of that synchro climbing bit that I showed Volgi. It is a 0 attack, 0 defense, level 1 light dragon tuner monster. It cannot be used as a synchro material except for the synchro summon of a majestic monster. This card's name becomes Majestic Dragon. This is how you get your Majestic Dragon, and it's searchable while on the field or in the graveyard. When you draw this card, you can reveal it, special summon it from your hand. Then, if you control a level 8 or higher dragon synchro monster, Stardust, Archfiend, you can special summon 1 level 1 dragon monster from your deck. You can only special summon Converging Wills Dragon once per turn. This is big. This is big for synchro decks. This is big for Yusei decks. This is big for even Jack decks. I'm sleeving this. It is a normal monster. I am sleeving it. Normal monster sleeved. One last pack. We've got some bangers out of the second pack. Like some really good ones. Okay, cat. Chill down, baby. It's okay. Okay. So, let's start off with the last pack. Last 18 cards. First up. Armed Dragon Thunder level 5. Okay, this is the retrain of the Armed Dragon, of the Armed Dragons. Armed Dragon Thunder. Of course, like, the original Armed Dragon level 5. This has 2400 attack and 1700 defense. It becomes Armed Dragon level 5, go figure. While on the field or in the graveyard, you can only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. You can send one monster from your hand to the graveyard, send this card from the field to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon one level 7 or lower Armed Dragon from your hand or deck. Okay, so it's Armed Dragon support. So this actually turbos out Armed Dragon level 7. If this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a Dragon monster's effect, you can add a level 5 or higher Wind Dragon monster from your deck to your hand, which could be another Armed Dragon level 5 or another copy of this card, to actually kind of like keep it going and go forward. That's actually pretty solid. That's a pretty solid card. Hello, Fusion. It's a Fusion Pendulum. Hold up. Parametalphos Azortless. Its scales are 8. It is a level 7 fusion. Psychic Fusion Pendulum. 2500 attack, 2000 defense. In the Pendulum Zone, if a face-up Metalphos card you controlled is destroyed by a card effect, except during the damage step, so Raigeki, Lightning Force, Lightning Storm, Mirror Force would have to be by the during the damage step, so sorry. You can target one face-up card on the field, destroy it. You can only use this effect once per turn. Cool! And as a monster effect, if you fusion summon it, it requires a fusion monster and another Metalphos monster as the fusion material. So there's a couple of other ways to utilize it, especially if you are running Super Poly. If this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can target one card your opponent controls, shuffle 2 face-up Pendulum monsters from your extra deck into the deck, and if you do, destroy that card. You can only use this effect of this card once per turn. If this card on the monster zone is destroyed, you can place this card in your Pendulum Zone. So that's how you get it to your Pendulum Zone. Cool! Awesome! Definitely. Okay, it's the biggest thing about this is that it is a Pendulum monster, but it's part of the extra deck initially. That's big. That's a pretty big one. Alright, up next, Link Apple. Fire level 1 Cyburst. No attack, no defense. You can reveal this card in your hand, banish one random face down card from the extra deck. Okay, so it's at random. Then special summon this card if the banished card was a Link monster. So it's best for like running only 15 Link monsters and nothing else. Otherwise, discard this card, and if you do, draw a card. Okay, so it also filters you in case you miss. You can only use this effect of Link Apple once per turn. Okay, at least it filters itself, like if you whiff, which is nice. The only thing that you're missing out is, okay, one extra deck monster. Unless it's a key piece, you kind of didn't really need it, especially if you're a Link climbing. Up next, Stairway to a Fabled Realm. Oh, it's the Fabled Field spell. Okay. When this card is activated, you can send one Fabled monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can target one Fabled monster in your graveyard, discard 2 cards, and if you do, add that monster to your hand. You can only use this effect of Stairway to the Fabled Realm once per turn. If your Fabled monster attacks an opponent's monster and you have less cards in your hand than your opponent, your monster gains attack equal to the difference in the number of cards times 200. Minor attack boost. During damage calculation only, you can only activate one Stairway to the Fabled Realm per turn. Again, it's a very minor attack boost, unless you literally have no cards in your hand and your opponent has 5. That's 1000 attack. It's kind of minor, but again, it's usually not going to amount up to much. Unless you turn around and played it out, you thought it out, and you just managed to beat over your opponent's big beat stick. Up next, ooh, Magic Key Unlocking. It's a counter trap. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card while you control a Magic Key Ritual monster or a Magic Key monster special summon from the extra deck. Okay, so like the one that we have, like the one we pulled earlier. Negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Then you can declare one attribute, and if you do that, for the rest of this turn, all face-up monsters your opponent controls become that attribute. You can only activate one Magic Key Unlocking per turn. Okay, so this is actually kind of useful in certain, very specific ways. Yeah, actually. Yeah, it's actually pretty solid. Like, it's now turn 4, the game's actually gone on that far. Your opponent has a bit of a board, and You flip this. Oh, would you look at that? Now all of my opponent's monsters are dark type. Super poly into Predaplants. Easy as that. Help clear their board. Up next is another Gunkin. Another Gunkin sous ship. Uni. It's a level 5 fire, 900 attack, 500 defense. You can reveal one other Gunkin card in your hand. Special summon this card from your hand, then apply the following effect based on the revealed card. If it was Shari, you can special summon the revealed monster, which means you also special summon Shari. um, Anything else? Place the revealed card on the bottom of the deck. You can target one Gunkin monster you control, changes level to 4 or 5. So you can add one Shari from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect of Uni once per turn. So Gunkin shoe ships do a lot of rank 4 and rank 5 plays. Uni is actually very, very good. But again, all of the Gunkin sous ship effect monsters literally work with Shari. They require Shari. So Uni at least turns around and actually gets Shari onto the field, or it gets Shari to your hand from your deck. It helps replace the card that you revealed. I mean, that's still hand information for your opponent, but it's one card out of the other 3. Or 4, depending. Also, it kind of does look tasty. Next card. Ooh, hello. Hello? Reliona, the Wondrous Magistus Mage Wardrobe. That is a mouthful. But it is a level 4 spellcaster XZ with 2800 defense. That's its highest stat. It requires 2 level 4 spellcaster monster with different attributes. That's actually a bit difficult with a Dark Magician deck, to be honest. Because, I mean, Dark Magicians are all dark attribute with the exception of the card you don't want, the card you can brick with. You can detach one material from this card as special summon one Magistus monster from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except Magistus monsters. While this card is equipped to a monster, hello? You could target one effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of this turn. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. I guess that requires Magistus spells and traps in order to get it to be an equip. It's a beautiful rare, but god dang, that is a mouthful. Oh, Book of Lunar Eclipse, Quick Play. What do? Discard a card, then target 2 face-up monsters on the field, change them to face-down defense. You know what? That's a very quick way in order to shut off some powerful monsters. I am sleeving that up. I am sleeving that up. I am not looking at the next card. I am just sleeving this up because I'm surprised this isn't more of a staple. I think there's just stronger cards, but this is still pretty solid. It can be used on your own monsters in order to get more flip effects. It can be used on your opponent's monsters in order to get them into face down defense, force them into defense so that you can actually beat over them without triggering their effects. It also turns around and just stops a lot of things. I don't think it works on Link monsters though. It shouldn't work on Link monsters. All right, next card. Oh, what are you? Radiant Voirescence? Radiant Voirescence? It's a level 4 light dragon. Hello. Oh wait, I think I remember seeing this card. When this card is normal summoned while your opponent controls a monster, you can discard a card, send any number of Radiant Voirescence from your deck to the graveyard. Once per turn, if this card is in your graveyard, you can make this card in the graveyard become dark until the... Oh! Okay, so I know what this is actually very useful for. You run a playset of this, you get rid of the other 2 into the graveyard, and now you have your light and dark for chaos. For chaos! That's actually pretty cool. That's actually really cool. I don't think chaos decks are actually that powerful anymore, but this actually helps out with that whole situation. Up next, it's a Flu. It's Toucan. It's the Flu Toucan. If this card would leave the field, banish it instead. You can only use each of the following effects of Toucan once per turn, and cannot special summon during the turn you activate either effect. If it's normal summoned, you can target one of your banished flume cards, add it to your hand, then immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon a winged beast monster. If a winged beast monster is normal summoned to your field while this card is banished, you can add this card to your hand. I hate flu. I hate flu. They say, oh, yeah, no special summons. Okay, so what do? Tons of normals. It's kind of broken, but should be interacted with more often. Up next is Dark Honest. Oh, Dark Honest. Honest was so big back in the day. And it's the inverse of Honest. It's dark, it's level 4, just like the original Light Honest. But instead of 1900 attack, it's 1100 attack. And instead of 1100 defense, it's 1900 defense. Once per turn during your main phase, you can return this face-up card to the hand. During the damage step, when your dark monster battles an opponent's monster, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. That opponent's monster loses attack equal to its own attack. Okay, so it makes that monster's attack become 0 until the end of the turn. That's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. Not gonna lie. Pretty good, but only as a battle. Only for battle. Next card is Despian Quiritus. And it's my secret. Give me a moment. I'm going to sleeve this up before I look at what it does. Is that... Okay, one Despia and a light or dark monster. Could be either or. It's level 8. During the main phase, as a quick effect, you can change the attack of all monsters currently on the field to 0 until the end of the turn, except level 8 or higher fusion monsters, which is actually kind of big. If this face-up card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, you can add to your hand or special summon one Fallen of Albaz or one Despion monster from your deck. You can only use each effect of Despion Quiritus once per turn. Its attack and defense are 2500. That's actually pretty solid. I think that's more of a Despian. I think that's more of a Despian staple. If it wasn't for the Mirror Jade Dragon. Up next is Matriarch Gigaboros again. Having another one of those is good. Magic Key Maftia. Hello. Fusion summon one Magic Key Fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material, or ritual summon a Magic Key Ritual monster from your hand by attributing monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal or exceed its level. If you control a normal monster, you can also send a normal monster from your deck to the graveyard as material or tribute. Okay, so this actually gets the Magic Key. This gets the Magic Key set going. Up next is this a B-Trooper? Yeah, B-Trooper Assault Roller, level 4. If you can special summon this card from your hand by banishing one insect monster from the graveyard. You can only summon B-Trooper Assault Roller once per turn this way. Although I think that's a hard once per turn. It gains 200 attack for each insect monster you control, except itself. When this card is destroyed by battle, you can add one B-Trooper monster from your deck to your hand, except B-Trooper Assault Roller. You can only use this effect of B-Trooper Assault Roller once per turn. So again, hard once per turns. It's it's got a floating effect as a its floating effect is more of a surge on destruction. It gains the maximum it can be is 2400 attack, which is actually not half bad. So it's got a pseudo self anthem. Not bad. We got 3 cards left. What are you? Albion the Shrouded Dragon. Is this a Despia card? It is a level 8, 2500 attack, 2000 defense dragon. Oh, it becomes Fallen of Albaz while on the field or in the graveyard. Hello! If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can send one Fallen of Albaz or one Branded Spell or Trap from your hand or deck to the graveyard. Apply the following effects based on where you sent it from. If it's from the hand, you special summon. If it's from the deck, place this card on the bottom of the deck. Then, if you place this card from your hand, draw a card. You can only use this effect of Albion the Shrouded Dragon once per turn. So this becomes another Fallen of Albaz, which means if you run a playset of this and a playset of Fallen of Albaz, you're effectively getting 6 Fallen of Albaz on the field or in the graveyard, while only still staying true to the rules. This is why Harpy's Lady 1 through 3 and Cyber Harpy Lady are actually really bad cards because they actually say it counts as Harpy Lady no matter what. Which means if it's in the deck or in the hand, it still counts towards that 3 per limit, which sucks. Okay, next card. Ooh, okay, it's a pendulum. Ankh-Morphrite? It's a level 5 pendulum with scales of 4. Spellcaster, 1800 attack. Its pendulum effect is if you have no cards in your extra deck except this card, you can destroy this card, except another copy. You can destroy this card, then draw 1 card. You can only use this effect of this card once per turn. So it kind of blows itself up, which is fine. As a monster, it cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from your face-up extra deck by having no cards in your extra deck except Ankh-Morphrite. You can only special summon Ankh-Morphrite once per turn this way. So you need to run at least minimum 2 of these. If this face-up card in the monster zone leaves the field, banish it. You have to run 2 of these, and you also have to run another specific card in order to get it into the extra deck to even get it onto play. This is bad. This is real bad. Unless you blow it up in the pendulum zone anyway. But that means you'd have to run a playset, and you're going to be going through these, and you can't pull the last one back from the extra deck except by pendulum summon. And even then, it won't let you. It won't let you. So this card, I actually say is bad. Last card. Son of Volan Melius? Yeah, son of, Sonavolin Melius. It's a Link 3 with arrows up and to the left and right. It requires 2 plant monsters, including a Link monster. If this card is Link summoned, you can special summon 1 Sunseed Genius Loci from your graveyard. This card cannot be targeted for attacks, but does not prevent your opponent from attacking you directly. Once per turn, you can target 1 Sunbind Link monster you control that this card points to. This turn, it can attack a number of times equal each battle phase up to the number of Link monsters you currently control. Okay, so this has no attack, but it cannot be the attack target whatsoever. Meaning, if this is your only if this is your only monster on board, your opponent's attacking you directly. And it's also very conditional, meaning that it has to be within its own archetype, as well as this Sunseed Genius Loci. That's actually not bad. Just to go over what we pulled, we got Branded Opening. We got Branded Opening as our first secret rare, which is awesome. We got Gunkan Suship Shari, which I am claiming is big, because all of the Gunkans require Shari. We got the Revived Sky God, which is Slifer support, like crazy. I love it. It draws you 6 cards, and also draws your opponent 6 cards. But it draws you 6 cards. And also gets you Monster Reborn. This is like literally it, and the fact that it's graveyard effect, getting Monster Reborn on top of, it doesn't even have to be Slifer in the graveyard. It could be Obelisk, it could be Raw, and then you get to draw that Monster Reborn. We got the Flunder. Our second secret rare is the Flu Map, and we have Converging Wills Dragon. I sleeved it up because it's big for like getting into majestic dragons. Then we have Book of Lunar Eclipse, which is pretty solid, and then our third secret rare, going with our first, is Despian Quiritis. I think those are pretty solid pulls. I know it took an hour. I don't think I'm going to cut it down. And yeah, those are pretty big. See you later.